Hello, my name is Angela from Home is for Making. Today I'm going to demonstrate how you can make your very own kombucha right at home. It's very easy. You only need a few ingredients. It can be as easy or as complicated as you like, depending on your choice and flavor. You will need a cup of sugar. We're going to start with 8 cups of water. You're going to need a stovetop and a pot. You also need your choice of tea. I like white tea, 2 to 3 bags of white, and I usually mix it with a green or a black, and my new favorite is this flavor from Wise Monkey, mango. I'll go more into that as we get going, but you're going to want to have 5 tea bags. You can make them all the same flavor if you like, or blend them. I choose to blend mine. So to start off with, you're going to want to put your 8 cups of water into your pot and get that boiling. That's how we start. I'll be back with the steps as we go. So I want to talk a little bit about the tea. I have chose to go with less tea bags. I found it works for me. A lot of other people choose more tea bags, and sometimes they boil all the water at once. I like to boil 8 cups of it at one time. I steep my tea, add the sugar in once the tea is steeped, about 20 minutes, and then I add in my cold water, let that come to room temperature. So when you pick a tea, you want to make sure it doesn't have any oils or other flavorings in there. It's the best idea to do it that way for the health of your SCOBY. I talked about Wise Monkey, and it's a new tea I've been trying, and I love the flavor. I was a little apprehensive because of 2 things. First, it's flavored with mango, and that's going into my first ferment. I was afraid it might wreck my SCOBY, but because I have several after brewing for a while, I was willing to give it a try. The second reason is this tea from Wise Monkey comes from coffee leaves. Yes, coffee leaves. Now I've made coffee kombucha before, and I've had other videos I've showed on how to do that, and I really liked it, but this was a completely different thing, different flavor, amazing results. My SCOBY survived, and I loved it. So you're gonna wanna choose your tea. I'm going to be making white tea. I use this one, and I'm going to be using mango. So I'm gonna do 2 white and 3 mango. And so far with this one, what I've done is I've made different batches in between. A lot of times when I'm trying something new, I go back to my normal batch, which is usually white and black or white and green, to kind of re-stabilize or whatever, alkaline, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's really called. I don't know that technical term, my SCOBY. So to make sure it stays strong and I'm not going to damage it. So, and then I'll try a new flavor again, and then I go back. So I alternate between that. Another flavor I really like is this one by Rishi, and it is a ginger turmeric. Turmeric and ginger are very good for you, great for your health, great for your gut and that good gut bacteria. So many great things. I do drink kombucha because I like the added health benefits. There's many reasons to drink it. You might just love the flavor. I love the flavor, but I also love the addition it adds to our healthy routine. My kids drink it every day. My little one loves it. So I will be back once we're ready to start brewing our tea. Okay, so the water has come to a boil, so you want to remove it from the heat. Have my tea bags ready to go. I like to kind of get them in a bunch. You can use loose leaf tea if you like. I just have these. So this is the Wise Monkey coffee leaf tea in these bags. It smells so good. So you just dip them in your hot water, and you get them steeping, and then you put the lid back on. And I like to leave mine, you can leave your tea to your likeness, but I like to leave mine steep for 20 minutes. I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start bottling the kombucha that's ready so that we can have some starter for this new batch of kombucha to go into. Okay, so I'm ready to start bottling. You want to start by picking out some flavors you're going to like for your second ferment. You can just bottle up the first ferment and drink it as is. I like to second ferment mine. That's where I have my most fun, is picking out more flavors, but you don't have to. This will be slightly fizzy the way it is. Some people get a lot of fizz this way. I don't have great luck with that. I think it's due to the temperature in our home. It tends to be a little bit on the cold side. So when you're letting your kombucha sit, and I am stepping a little bit ahead of the process here, but once you've got your kombucha made, you're gonna wanna cover it. And that's important because you want it to have cloth. I use paper towel so it can still breathe, but things like fruit flies and dust and stuff are not gonna drop in. You're gonna wanna have it in a warmer place in your home. I think they say like 70 degrees Fahrenheit and above, not too warm. Some people have great luck with their top of their fridge. Can't fit my bottle up there. You want a glass vessel. Stainless steel spout preferable. You can just put it in a jar such as the one I have my SCOBY hotel in, and it just makes it a little bit harder for this next process for bottling. But you most certainly can use a jar to brew it in or to ferment it in. My spout is not stainless steel. I haven't made it that far yet. I've been brewing for a couple years. I really need to get this done because plastic is not ideal for this. However, like I said, totally doable. So for your second ferment, you can choose fruit, you can choose herbs, you can choose other teas, you can have pureed fruit, you can have so many different things. It really is endless and it's a lot of fun to try. Today this tea is white tea and a ginger turmeric, and I like to do different juices with that one. The kids really like this new medley of fruits that we found by Cree, I guess it's called. It's really yummy. I'm also going to do lemon and ginger and strawberry. So you only need a little bit of ginger, goes a long way. Same thing for the fruit. I don't like to do too much in the bottle. You really don't need a whole lot. It depends on how much sweetness you want. And because I follow a ketogenic diet and I still want to be able to drink my kombucha once in a while, I make it less sweet for me. So this is a ginger root if you've never seen it. You peel this. I choose to peel it. Some people don't. You can slice it thin or large, depending on what you like. I wash my bottles out with warm water, make sure they're sterilized before I use them. These little swag top bottles are perfect for this. So drop in your flavoring and then start bottling. I'm gonna drop in my flavors, I'll explain which ones I put in what, and then I'll show you how I bottle. I just don't want this video to be super long, so I'm gonna do this in stages. Okay, so I thought I'd better show you how I do this in the jar too. So as fruit fly season is coming upon us, you wanna make sure your stuff is covered. The fruit really attracts the fruit flies, and so does the kombucha. So I'm gonna show you the juice here. I take about a 1/4 cup if I'm putting just juice in. If I'm putting berries and other stuff in, I lessen that, especially if it's for the kids. So I like the silicone funnel. It helps so I'm not gonna make so many messes. And I pour about a 1/4 cup of juice in the bottom of the bottle. And then you go down to the spout and you fill it up just past the neck. I like to kind of give it a little bit of a shake because the yeast and all that gets to the bottom. You want to stir that bacteria up because it helps with the second ferment. And the idea with the second ferment is you're giving the, there we go, you're giving the SCOBY or the good stuff more things to eat, which feeds it and produces more fizz and bubbles and all the good stuff for your digestive system. And if you don't like it real fizzy, you won't want to leave this too long. I like it fizzy. I like it almost like a pop. And then you just cap that. Then I picked up this great little chalk marker, and it's great for writing on the glass so that you remember what kind you make, but it does wipe off real easy. The labels, however, I found, you know, you're always making new kinds, so you had to keep removing them, so I've gone with this. It works pretty good for us. So some of the other flavors I'm going with, I'm making a big bottle of the strawberry because we really like that one with most flavors, especially as summer comes rolling around. These are from last summer's strawberries, so these are frozen ones. I just thawed a bit. You can mash them down and it makes it a little bit easier for getting them out of the bottle. This one is strawberry ginger, which is also a really good favorite of ours. And the other one is lemon and ginger. This is mostly for mom because mom likes this flavor. Me. So I only have about a 1/4, actually an 1/8 cup of lemon juice in here and a bit of ginger root. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill these up and I will be back. Our tea should be steeped in a few minutes. Just wanna show you the bubbles. That's what happens when you're filling it. It's so much fun. I really do like this a lot. That's what it looks like. You want a little foam on there and you really don't want it any further than that. Can you see all the bubbles coming up? Yeah. Okay, so the tea is done steeping and I'm going to take out the tea bags. Strain those out. I like to use a wooden spoon. Some people are against using a wooden spoon. I like mine. Strain those out. You're gonna need a cup of sugar. I found this great big bag at Costco. It was in the States though, Kirkland brand organic sugar. You add that to your tea. I'll show you what the tea looks like. It's rather dark in color, even though it's white. It's got the mango one and the coffee leaf tea. Even black tea is going to be dark. And the one interesting thing too about black tea is it's dark when you brew it and you put it in here, but it lightens up as it gets ready. So, okay, so you just put your cup of sugar in. That's going into our 8 cups of steep tea with the 5 tea bags. Stir that in and let that completely dissolve. Right back. Okay, so the sugar is now stirred in, and then you're going to want to add your next 4 cups of water to start the cooling process. And then you're just going to let that sit and cool and come to room temperature. You do not want to put hot tea in your kombucha or your starter. If you haven't made this before, you do not want to add it to your starter until it's come to room temperature. Very important, you will kill it. So I kind of leave the half on there because, like, again, fruit fly season or other things you don't want dropping in your kombucha, so move that to the side. I'm going to show you how to separate your SCOBY, and I'm hoping this one's going to come apart easily. I'll show you this in just a minute with the camera. So, a little close to me. Before I touch my SCOBY, I like to wash my hands with vinegar and make sure I don't have anything on it that's going to harm the SCOBY. This one's been in here for a long time, so it is rather large. And it's going to form a new SCOBY on top every time you brew. The first few times you may not need to separate. I don't always separate. I wait until there's a nice good one on there. This one looks thick enough. So you can see the different layers here. Try and get this close enough. We're going to take off this top one. This is the underneath. She's real interesting looking, and yeah. So you do this carefully. It kind of peels back just like that. You know, you don't have to be super careful. She's going to tear a little bit, and that's completely okay. And I had put a hole in this when she was young. She's never really completely filled in yet. So that's the baby, okay? So you can share that with your friends who also want to make kombucha, or you can start another brew, or you can keep it in a SCOBY hotel like I do. Right in here you'll see there's a bunch of them in there floating around. You do all kinds of different things with your SCOBYs. Lots of things on the internet with that. So I push her down. I'm going to add a little bit of my sweet tea to this hotel because I haven't for a while. And I feed it every once in a while to make sure that stays nice and healthy and happy, so that when I give them to friends or need to reuse them for my own purposes, it's all okay. So I'm going to cover this because I'm going to clean this out and show you how to do this. I don't do that every time, but every once in a while I do that. Okay, be right back. Okay, so you want to get your water quite hot. There's going to be, at least on mine, there's a thing on the inside you have to unscrew. The spout out. I put all of it inside the jar. Put hot water in it, some vinegar in it, and scrub it up. Then you rinse it out. I'll be back. So then after everything's nice and clean, you put your spout back in. That's what my spout looks like. Said plastic, I know. It's supposed to be stainless steel. Go back in. You're going to want to fill it up with warm water again and some more vinegar, and then just give it a really good rinse with hot water. We're ready to put the tea back in. So I have a cup of the starter tea that I've reserved out. You can put that in. And I just let my mother, SCOBY, hang out in here until the brewed tea, or the sugar water actually it is more so now, is ready. And then I'll take her out again and put her on the plate while I pour in the new brew. So I will be back once it comes temperature. For now, it's got a nice clean home to sit in. She's in there with the starter tea. I have my other brews all done, all bottled, ready to go under the cupboard and sit. Your second ferment sit from anywhere from 3, 5, 7 days, depends on how bubbly you like them. Mine usually, any temperature of your home or where you're keeping them, mine usually take anywhere from 3 to 5 days before they're ready. You want to burp your bottles. When you burp them, you're going to have your hand over the top, go over the sink or a bowl, and burp cautiously, just a quick and shut, because these things can spew. So 3 to 5 days for those to sit, and then they'll be ready to drink. You can store them in your fridge while you're waiting to drink them. It calms down the carbonation a bit and keeps them for a good time. But I think probably 6 months, people mostly say. Ours never last that long, but about 6 months they can stay in the fridge, maybe longer. Okay, so we're gonna finish the kombucha. It has now come to room temperature. So I think I forgot to mention too before that when you're first starting to make kombucha, you're going to need a cup, half cup to a cup of starter tea. So whoever you're getting your SCOBY from, you want to also get a half cup to a cup of starter tea. And hopefully the SCOBY hasn't been sitting in the hotel for a long time. Otherwise, if that's the case, if they've had the SCOBY in their starter hotel, you really don't need much starter tea, because I find it just messes up the whole thing. But that's what I suggest. Okay, so your tea, your sweet tea is cooled, so it's sugar, steep tea, and water in here. You have, quick math, 8 cups of water in here altogether, or no, 12 cups of water. There's 8 to steep, and another 4 to help cool down. It's come to room temperature. You're gonna take the mother out. Forgot to wash my hands. You're gonna take the mother out, and you're gonna place her on a plate that's clean. You're gonna have your starter tea in here. This can sometimes be messy, so hopefully I'm not gonna pour it all over while I'm taping. And pour the sweet tea right in. Make sure you have the spout closed. I've done that before. It makes a huge mess. Okay, so I am saving a little bit of my sweet tea to add to my SCOBY hotel. You do not have to do that every time, but I like to every once in a while. Then you're gonna put your mother's SCOBY or your only SCOBY on top. Sometimes they sink. Do not worry, that's totally fine. It will come back up. Then you cover it. Like I said, fruit fly season, make sure you really got this covered well. I use a few layers of paper towel. If you have some white cotton towel sitting along, that's fine too. Cover it. You're gonna leave this sit. If it's brand new and it has been in a hotel, it's gonna take you probably longer. But I leave mine sit from anywhere from 5 to 7 days. You're gonna wanna check it after day 3. If it's in the summer, just take a sip out of it. If it's really sweet, it is not done. You want it to be slightly tangy, and you'll see some bubbles starting to get, and a little bit of fizz and foam sometimes around in here, depending on your temperature, and you'll know it's ready. If it's a black tea, it's gonna get really a lot lighter in color. This will lighten a bit, and all those are signs that it's done. It will also have another SCOBY growing on top. Now, it might not be as thick as the one I just separated. It takes time to achieve some of these things. It takes time for you to get practicing doing this, get used to your home's temperature, the tea that works best for you, all of those things. So give yourself time. It's a process. It's taken me over a year to get here. So put your sweet tea in with your starter tea, then place your SCOBY on top, cover it with a cloth, and fasten that with a rubber band. Put it in a dark, open but warm place, somewhere where there's not a lot of disturbance. I had mine in a room that was too busy, and it just never really worked. And you want to make sure it has some airflow there, but warmth about 70 degrees or higher Fahrenheit. Okay, so one more quick tip. Make sure that you label the vessel that you're fermenting your kombucha in. Also, for your SCOBY hotel, you will need one of these as time goes by, because it will have babies every time. If you don't have friends that want them all the time, save them. Otherwise, they're great to add to your compost, or if you have backyard chickens like I do, you can feed them the SCOBYs as well. There's lots of things you can do with these SCOBYs. Hotel's a great one though, because if you end up killing yours for some reason, or a friend wants some, you always have a spare one. So just keep adding them here. Make sure you have some tea that, some starter tea, like the sweet tea that's in there at the first bit. You do not have to do that every time you add another SCOBY to it, but every so often I like to feed mine a little bit of starter tea like I did today. You do not need to wash your vessel every time. That is up to you. I did for a long time just thinking I had to. You do not. I do it maybe every couple of months and give it a good rinse whenever it starts looking like it needs clean. I mean, use your own judgment there. Yeah, so any other questions, just be sure to message me. I'll be happy to get back to you. The recipe is all up on the blog. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our blog and follow along. Lots of things go on over there. Until next time, this has been Angela from Home is for Making. Bye for now.